So, yan, hello. Good morning. Ano po? Yan, tayo magre-record muna po ngayon. And salamat sa Panginoon, tayo makakapag-lecture pa rin and hopefully maging effective pa rin naman at makaabot sa inyo ang mag-lecture natin. Since may libro naman kayo at mababasa nyo naman, maging mas madali na ito sa inyo. Pero yung mga additional mga bagay-bagay lang, experiences and mga ikangay arguments na pwede nyo pang madagdag as an equipment din pag kayo po ay mag-share ng mga Roman Catholic Church, especially sa aral na ito since ito po isa sa mga prominent din talagang ikangay kilalang kilala ang mga Roman Catholic people na ika nga ay palasid pa paladasal at ang tinatawag nila ay mga santo o mga saints. Ano po, at pati mga simbusan niyan in relation, in relation ito sa Babylon na ating Babylon na religion. Okay, so let's go. Okay, sabi dito, in addition to the prayers and the devotions that are direct to Mary, Roman Catholic also honor and pray to various saints. Now, these saints, according to Catholic position, are martyrs or other notable people of the church who have died and whom the popes have pronounced saints. In many minds, and word saints refers only to a person who was attained some special degree of holiness. Only a very unique follower of Christ. But according to the Bible, all true Christians are saints actually. So sa bahagi nga makikita natin na ang mga Roman Catholic people ay hindi lahat ng tao tinatawag nilang saints. Okay? Para may mga special na tao na kumbaga karapat-dapat lang na tawagin na saints. Pero isang notable na bagay na mababasa natin mismo sa Bible na actually ang mga Kristiyano follower of Jesus Christ ay saint na agad ang tawag. Ito, makikita natin yan. Sabi dito, even those who may sadly lack spiritual maturity or knowledge. Thus, the writings of Paul to Christians at Ephesus, Philippi, Corinth, and Rome were addressed as to the saints. Ephesians 1, etc. Madami po yan. Check nyo na lang. Kadalasan po yun nasa chapter 1, nasa verse 1 or verse 2 ng mga Pauline Epistle. Karamihan sa mga Pauline Epistle. Saints, it should be noticed were living people, not those who died. Kasi sa Roman Catholic Church, pag namatay, may mga testing pa, para ikipumasa bilang isang saint. Pero isa sa mga requirement, patay muna. Pero isang malinaw dito, tinawag the saint ni Apostle Paul ang kanyang mga sinulatan. At syempre, nung siya sinulat, buhay pa yung mga yan. Pero tinawag nila silang saint. If we want a saint to pray for us, it must be a living person. But if we try to commune with the people who have died, what else is this but a form of spiritualism? Tama? Kung patay ang kinakausap ko, so hindi na yan Christianity, spiritualism na yan. Repeatedly in the Bible condemns all attempts to commune with the dead. Isaiah 8:19 and 20, yet many recite the Apostles' Creed, which says, we believe in the communion of the saints, supposing that such includes the idea of prayers for or to the dead. Yung saints na nakalagay doon sa Apostles' Creed, in-interpret yun ng Roman Catholic Church as ay communion with the saints na hindi lang mga buhay, kundi mga patay din ng mga namatay na dahil parang dati, parte pa rin sila ng church, sabi pa rin sila ng pamilya ng Diyos, at sila ay kasama doon. Concerning this very point, the Catholic Encyclopedia says, Catholic teaching regarding prayers for the dead is bound up inseparably with the doctrine of the communion to the saints, which is an article of the Apostles' Creed. Prayers to the saints and martyrs collectively or to someone of them in particular are recommended. The actual wording of the Council of Trent is that, mismong galing sa Council of Trent, that the saints who reign together with Christ offer up their own prayers to God for men. Na parang dating, we offer our prayers to the saints at sila yung maglalapit sa Diyos para sa atin kasi mas malapit sila sa Panginoon at they have their merits sa buhay na ito kung bakit mas malakas sila sa prayer At lalo na yun, super, kasi may direct na nila yun sa Panginoon. Parang ang dating, alam mo yung parang mga backer, yun, parang backer, para mas ikangay mapakinggan ang mga panalangin. It is good and useful suppliantly to invoke them and to have recourse to their prayers, aid, help for obtaining benefits from God. What the what are the objection of this belief? We will let the Catholic Encyclopedia answer for itself. Mismong sa Catholic Encyclopedia nagbula itong objection na ito. The chief objection raised against the intercession and invocation of the saints are that the doctrines are opposed to the faith and trust which we should have in God alone, and that they cannot be proven from scriptures. Mismong yun. Ano? God alone dapat, sa Diyos ang tiwala, at dapat ito yung malinaw na tinuturo sa Biblia. With this statement, we agree. Nowhere do the scriptures indicate that the living can be blessed or benefited by prayers to or through those who have already died. Instead, in many ways, the Catholic doctrines regarding saints are very similar to the old pagan ideas that were held regarding the gods, as in small g. Okay? Looking back again to the mother or false religion, Babylon, we find that the people pray to and honored a plurality of God. In fact, the Babylonian system developed until it had some 15,000 gods and goddesses. In much the same way, the Catholic believe concerning their saints, the Babylonian believed that their gods had at one time been living heroes on earth, but were now on a higher plane. So, regarding sa mga gods at goddesses ng iba, lalo na sa Greek and Roman mythology, meron silang pagkakapareho kung inyo mapapansin. Ano? Alin yun? Na para ba ang dating ay sila ay mga tao din or mga heroes na kumbaga ay may mga magandang ginawa at na-elevate ngayon sa isang magandang posisyon. Right? Same principle sa mga saints. So para makikita natin, ito yung parang hugot sa ikangay paganismo, sa hindi tunay na pananampalataya, sa mga bali, sa mythologies. Sabi dito, even month and day of the month was under the protection of particular divinity. There was a god of this problem, a god of each and different occupation, a god for and a god for that. God para sa ganito, God para sa ganyan, God para sa okasyon na ito, God para sa occupation na ito. Yan. So, see? Grabe, napakatindi ng resemblance. From Babylon, like the worship of the Great Mother, such concept about the gods spread the nations. Even the Buddhists in China had their worship in various deities as goddess and sailors, gods of war, gods of special neighborhoods, or occupation. The Syrians believed the powers of a certain gods were limited to their certain areas, as an incident in the Bible records. Their gods are gods of the hills. Therefore, they were stronger than we, but we let us fight against them in the plain, and surely we shall be stronger that day. 1 Kings 20:23. So, mismo sa Old Testament pa lamang, makikita na natin na yung prinsipyo ng pagkakaroon nila ng Diyos, ng mga Diyos ng kung saang mang lugar, ay nandoon na yung idea. Di mo binanggit ko ano yung pangalan ng Diyos nila, pero ang punto sabi, yung kanilang gods ay gods ng mga bulubundukin o ng mga bundok. So, doon tayo pakipaglaban sa patag upang sila ating matalo. Diba? Parang gano'n ang dating. See? Kumbaga, sasabihin ng Roman Catholic, hindi naman Diyos yun. Hindi naman namin Diyos yun. Kaya sadya namang hindi na sasabihin hindi Diyos yun. Dahil syempre, sila naman naniniwala din sa Trinity at one God. Monotheistic. Pero, ang problema ay yung prinsipyo ng ganung uri ng mga dinadasalan at kinikilala at tinataas regarding sa mga bagay na partikular na buwan, pangailangan o trabaho o uri ng prayer ay iba-iba pa ang kanilang kinikilala. And next, sabi dito, when Rome conquered the world, these same ideas were very much evidenced as the following sketch will okay. Sketch will how the bright was goddess of smiths and poetry. Juno, Regina, was the goddess of womanhood and marriage. Minerva was the goddess of wisdom, handicrafts, and musician. Venus was the goddess of sexual love and birth. Vesta was the goddess of the bakers and sacred fires. Ops was the goddess of the wealth. Ceres was the goddess of corn, wheat, growth, vegetation. Our word cereal, ayun yung ba? Yung word na cereal daw sa English, ay galing daw sa salitang Ceres, fittingly comes from her name. Hercules was the god of joy and wine. Mercury was the god of oration, and in the fables, quite orator himself, which explains why the people of Lystra thought Paul, yung si Paul bilang nagpipreach as the god of Mercury, but God Mercury, the gods of Castor and Pollux were the protectors of Rome and travelers and the sea. Cronus was the guardian of oaths. Janus was the god of doors and gates. There are gods who president over many moments of man's life, gods and house and gardens and food and drink and of health and sickness. With the idea of gods and goddesses associated with various events in life, how established a pagan Rome. It was but another step for this same concept, yung konseptong ito, from paganism were reluctant to be part of the gods unless they could find some specificatory counterpart in Christianity. So parang katulad ng napag-aralan natin sa church history, na parang dating ay kaya kami sasali, kaya kami ay magko-convert sa Christianity o kung bakit sila madaling na convincing lumipat ay dahil inadapt nila ang prinsipyong ito na parang ang dating ay wala naman pala pinagkaiba, nagbago lang ang pangalan. Diba? Okay, at syempre, purasahan nga noong mga panahon yun kasi dahil ni Theodosius na nagpagawang official na religion Christianity sa Roman Empire. Okay? So gods and goddesses are renamed and called saints, and the old idea of gods associated with certain occupations and they have continued in the Roman Catholic belief in saints and saints' day as the following table shows. Yun na yung following table na yan. Kita nyo na yan. O si Martha, July 29. Saints of the mga popes, mga magluluto kasi masipag magluto. Yan. Sobrang kasipagan ay nagmurmur na. Okay. Si Francis of Assisi, merchant. Yan, sikat yan. Sadya po yung talagang kilalang si Francis of Assisi. Okay, sa mga students naman, Thomas Aquinas. Okay, dahil si scholar po ito. Okay? Yan, tapos, yan pala, ari po ay sa mga occupation. Mapapansin nyo, occupation lahat yan. Okay, ito naman, Roman Catholic Church also had saints for the following. Ano yan? Mga sitwasyon sa buhay, barren woman, beer drinkers, children, domestic animals, yan, fire, floods, lovers, yan, okay. Television, yan, si St. Clair, Santa Clara, yan, taga dyan po ako, sa Batangas. Okay, sa mga may sakit, tatawagan daw pag may cancer, yan, St. Peregrine. Okay? Arthritis, dog bites, lahat yan. Lahat. Okay? Sa following sa mga pagkakasakit naman. Okay, so kung mapapansin niyo dito, yan. Saint Herbert was born about 656 and apparently on the list of the patron saint of hunters and healer and hydrophobia. Before his conversion, almost all his time was spent hunting on Good Friday morning, according to the legend. He pursued a large stag and suddenly turned and he saw a crucifix. So, may mga ganyang uri ng mga kwento, mga legends regarding sa mga tao na pag may mga nakikitang himala, may mga nakikitang crucifix or what, sila ay pinagpala o sila talaga ginausap ng Diyos o pinagpakitaan ng Diyos. So, malaking porsyento na pag sila'y namatay, sila'y magiging saint. Okay? Yan. Okay, sabi pa dito, which suddenly turned and he was saw a crucifix between the antlers and heard a voice tell him to turn to God. But why pray to the saint of the Christians when we have access to God? Catholics are taught that through praying to the saints, they may be able to obtain help that God otherwise might not give. Ano? Kung sa Diyos ka directly humingi, baka hindi niya ibigay. Pero kung humingi ka ng tulong sa saints, posibleng maibigay. Para mas mauwain na tao. Okay, they are told to worship God and when to pray first to the Mary and to the holy apostles and to the holy martyrs and all God's saints. To consider them as friends and protectors and to implore their aid in hour of distress with the hope of that God would grant to the patron that he might otherwise refuse. So supplicant, everything considered, it seemed evident that the Roman Catholic system of patron saint developed out of the earlier belief of God devoted to days, occupations, and various needs of humanity. Walang pagkakaiba, kundi pangalan lamang at tawag. Okay? Yeah. Many gods of the old legends have been associated with the pagan gods, were transferred over to the saints. Catholic Encyclopedia even says legends repeat the conception found in the pre-Christian religious tales. The legends is not Christian, only Christianized. In many cases, it has obviously the same origin as the myth. Antiquity traced back source was natural elements it did not understand. So the heroes, such was also the case with many legends of saints, it became easy to transfer to the Christian martyrs and conceptions which the ancient held concerning their heroes. Their transference was promoted by the numerous cases in which Christian saints became the successors of local deities. The Christian worship supplanted the ancient local worship. This explains the great number of similarities between gods and saints. So, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, mga legends, mga bagay na kanilang ginawang kamangha-mangha na kumbaga nagpasikat o ikangay maalala sa kanila upang ma-look up at maging inspiration sa mga tao. Gods, ganun din ang mga gods ng mga panahon ng yun. Okay, mga demigods, mga tao na na-elevate para maging deity. Okay? Many similarities. As paganism and kaya nga sabi dito, Christianized. Only paganism and Christianity were mixed together. Sometimes a saint was given similar sounding name as the pagan god and goddesses. It replaced the goddess Victoria of the Blessed Alps with Saint Victor, Cheron as Saint Krenos, Armitis as Artemidos, Dionysius as Dionysius, halos pareho lang, etc. The goddess Bright, regarded as the daughter of the sun who was present with the child in her arms, was smoothly renamed what? Saint Bridget, Bridget. In pagan days, her chief temple in Kildare was serving Vestal virgins who tended sacred fires. Okay, Saint Bridget. May apoy. May apoy. See? Kita niyo yung hindi yan coincidence, mga kapatid. Later, her temple became a covenant of her fertile nuns and continued to tend the ritual fire. Only it was now called Saint Bridget's fire. Okay, so continue tayo. The best preserved ancient temple now remain in Rome in the Pantheon, which the olden time was dedicated according to the inscription over the Penticle. The Jove of all the gods was reconstructed by Pope Boniface IV to the Virgin Mary and all the saints. Such practices were not uncommon. Churches or ruins of churches have been frequently found on the sites where pagan shrines or temples originally stood. Anong mga na-discover daw noon, mga kapatid, na yung mga temple noon ng mga Diyos-Diyosan nila ay pinalitan lamang ng naging chapel at pinakikita na talaga para ang dating binaskrahan lang nila ng Christianity yung mga pagan gods para ma-accept ng mga tao. Okay? It is also some extent true that sometimes the saint where aid was to be invoked at the Christian shrine for some underworld analogy. to the deity previously hallowed in that place. Thus, in Athens, the shrine of the healer Asclepius, ano, when it became a church, was made sacred to the two saints whom Christian Athenian invoke as miraculous healers, Cosmas and Damian. A cave shown in Bethlehem as the place in which Jesus was born was, according to Jerome, actually a rock shrine in which the Babylonian god Tammuz was being worshipped. The scriptures never state that Jesus was born in a cave. Pero may cave na nakalagay dito. Throughout the Roman Empire, paganism died in one form only to live again within the Roman Catholic Church. Not only did the devotion of the old God continued in a new form, but the use of statues and gods as well. Hindi lang mga prinsipyo at concept ang meron, kundi mismo mga lugar at mga temple ay ganun pa din. In some cases, it is said that the very same statues had been worshipped as pagan gods were renamed as Christian saints. Through centuries, more and more statues were made until today. There are churches in Europe which contains as many as 2, 3, and 4,000 statues in large impressive cathedrals, in some chapels, wayside shrines, in the dashboards and automobiles sa mga sasakyan, pagka nakita ng mga jeep at saka mga taxi, may mga nakatayo diyan, mga mamamere at mga cross at saka mga saints. In all these places, the idols of Catholicism may be found in abundance. Okay? The use of such idols in Roman Catholic Church provides another clue in solving the mystery of modern Babylon. For as Herodotus mentioned, Babylon was the source from which all systems of idolatry flowed to the nations. To link the word idols with statues of Mary and saints may sound quite harsh to some, but can this be totally incorrect? Idolatry talaga yan. Hindi na yun may tatanggi. Okay? So, yan o, nag-provide ako ng ilang mga pictures regarding this topic. Okay? Halik, bow, buhat, paglilingkod. It is admitted in Catholic writings that at numerous times, among various people, images of the saints have been worshipped in superstitious way. Such abuses, however, are generally placed in the past. It is explained that in this enlightened age, no educated person actually worshipped the object itself, but rather that the object presents generally. This is true, but is this not also true of heathen tribes that use idols? Unmistakably idols talaga. In the worship of the demon god. Most of these do not believe on idols itself as a god, but only a representative of the demon god they worship. So yun isa paniniwala ng iba. Pero kumbaga, ipagpalagay na, alam nyo, para sa akin, I believe really hindi talaga nila gino-Diyos yung mga saint. Hindi talaga, as in hindi. Hindi nila gino-Diyos. Hindi nila kinikilala ng Diyos. Kahit ako noong ako'y Catholic pa, hindi ko talaga kinikilala ng Diyos. Alam ko, Diyos lang talaga. Si Jesus Christ, Trinity. But our argument is yung action, practice, and the way they do their worship or practices. Yun nga matindi. Kung hindi Diyos, and yet, ganun na lang nila tratuhin. Diyos lang talaga. Nakikita niyo yun? Parang kumbaga halimbawa, sa Hinduism, okay? Sila, ang dami nilang Diyos. Okay lang na sambahin nila yon dahil Diyos talaga tingin nila at ganun na gawin nila. Pero ang matindi nga, kung hindi Diyos, hindi nyo tinikilala ng Diyos, and yet ganun yung trato, mas matindi Diyos-Diyosan. Okay? Bagaman parehong mali. Okay? Several articles in the Catholic Encyclopedia seek to explain that the use of image proper is the basis of them being representative of Christ or the saints. The honor which is given to them is referred to the object of which they represent, so that through the image which we kiss and before which we cover with our heads and kneel, we adore, prize, and venerate the saints whose likeness they are. No, kaya nga faith. Kung faith, hindi mo kailangan ng representative. Yun yung isa sa mga argument dyan, mga kapatid. Hebrews 11, ang faith ay hindi kailangan ng bagay. Ang faith nga ay mas matetes sa mga bagay na hindi nakikita. Okay? Alam mong may kausap ka, alam mong siya pa rin yung kausap mo kahit wala yan. So parang, in a way, kung ang dating nakakatulong lang siya, it is unnecessary. Isa pa yun sa mga argument, mga kapatid, na sinasabi ko sa inyo. Kung siya ay nakakatulong lang, ibig sabihin, hindi siya required. Hindi siya necessary. Pwede siyang wala. Pwede siyang wala. At kung at mas magandang wala. Okay? Kasi kung parang dating binibigyan mo ang tao ng assistance, hindi lalalim yun sa pananampalataya. Not all Christians are convinced, however, that the explanation is strong enough reason to bypass verses such as Exodus 20:4 and 5. Ano po, alam na natin yan. Thou shalt not make any graven images in the likeness of heaven, above heaven, right, and down below. At huwag ka magbabaw doon sa kanila. In the Old Testament, when the Israelites conquered a heathen city or country, they were not to adopt the idols of those people into the religion. Hindi talaga. Such were to be destroyed, even though they might be covered with silver and gold. In Deuteronomy 27:25, the graven images of their God shall be burned ye with fire. Okay? Thou shalt not desire silver or gold that is on them. Okay? Nor take it unto thee, lest thou snare therein, for it is an abomination to the Lord. Sunugin nyo kahit pa iniginto, kahit pa isilver mo. Yan. They were to be destroyed. All their pictures, pagan gods also, Numbers 33:52. To that extent, these instructions were to be carried out under the New Testament had been often debated over the centuries. Roman Catholic Encyclopedia gives historical sketch of this, showing how people fought and even died over the very issue, especially in the 8th century. Through upholding the use of statues and pictures, it says there seemed to have to be dislike of the holy pictures. Nga pala, kung yung matatandaan, isa sa mga napag-aralan natin sa church history, yung mga, anong nga tawag doon? Iconoclastic. Okay? Iconoclast. Yun yung tinutukoy dito. Yung mga nagkaroon ng patayan at labanan, yung magkakaroon ba ng icons or images or hindi. Yun yung tinutukoy po dito. So, tuloy tayo. Yan. And mention several Catholic bishops who were at the same opinion. For people to fight and kill each other over this issue, regardless of which side they were on, was unmistakably contrary to the teaching of Christ. Pagans place a circle, hindi lang images, kundi yung pati yung halo. Yung halo yan ay, kumbaga, hindi rin yan parang dating ay Christian idea. Okay? Bakit yan, no? Kung makikita niyo sa picture, kahit si Buddha may halo. Pagans place circle on or aureole around the heads of those who were gods. In the pictures, this practice continued right in the art of the Romish Church. The accompanying illustration is Saint Augustine shown in the Catholic books with a circular disc around his head. All Catholic saints are pictured the same way, but to see that this picture was borrowed from heathenism, we need only to be noticed the drawing of Buddha, yan po, illustration, okay? Yan, which also features a circular symbol around his head. The artists and sculptures of the ancient Babylon used the disc or aureola around any being they wish to represent as God and Goddess. So, yan na ba? So, bakit ginaya ng Roman Catholic Church? Pasimple. Pasimpleng pasok ng, siyempre, ang jabli padaya, ang tuso, yan, palihim, or parang hindi obvious na nila na pagsamba. Okay? Okay, so yan, yan, depict Circe and Pegana, goddess of the sun, which circle surrounding his head from from its use in pagan Rome, and same symbolism passed into papal Rome and has continued to this day as evidence in the thousands of paintings of Mary and the saints. Okay? So, ayan po. So, hindi ko na bibigyan niya parang putos lang yung mga ganyang uri din. The church in the first 4 centuries used pictures of Christ, and the scripture do not give us any description of the physical features of Jesus, whereby an accurate painting could be made of him. It seems evident that the pictures of Christ, like those of Mary and saints, have come from the imaginations of artists. Yung mga itsura ba? Parang pati ito, si Circe. Okay, ito may halo. Siya lang yung may halo. Iba wala. Kasi, dahil lang pagkakaroon ng pagiging deity, holy, or kung ano man. Okay? So sabi pa dito sa pahuli, we only have to make a short study in religious art to find the different centuries among different nationalities. Many pictures of Christ, some very different, when we found. Itsura ni Christ, ganti mga itsura ni Kristo. Iba-iba. Hindi man talaga yun ang tunay na itsura. Okay, paano na nasiguradong yun nga? Ay Diyos Kristo. Alam niyo bang sa Islam, wala kayong makikita kahit anong picture ni Muhammad. Wala. Kahit sa mga pelikula, hindi pinakikita ang mukha ni Muhammad. Ganun nila nirerespeto yung idea na ay yung tao. At saka ayaw nilang dumating sa pagkakataon na maging idolatry. Kasi image ng propeta nila yun na ginagalang. Okay? Parang yung artistang napanood ko yung isang isang pelikula nila, talagang walang mukha sa Muhammad. Okay? So yun, mga kapatid. Pero Christianity, lagi nang may mukha, picture, kahit sa mga artista. Para sa akin, dapat wala. Bagaman effective to the point makita yung expression lalo na sa kanyang suffering. Pero in a way ay pagka tinignan mo ng malalim yun, medyo delikado yun. Parang unknowingly, posibleng umano talaga siya sa idolatry. Okay? And blasphemy din lalo. Okay. Obviously, all this cannot be what he looks like. Besides having now ascended into heaven, we no longer know him after the flesh. Wala na. Okay? 2 Corinthians 5:16, having been glorified, John 7:39, and with the glorious body, Philippians 3:12. Not even the best artist in the world could portray the king, okay, in his beauty. Any picture, even at the best, could never show how wonderful he really is. Okay, after this lecture, may video kung paano ba ang Catholic ay nagpo-proclaim ng isang saint. At mahalaga din yan, kasama yan sa mga exhibit. So, yun po, paalam. And God bless, at sana ay magkaroon tayo ng patuloy pang pag-aaral and equipment regarding sa refutation ng Roman Catholic, dahil mahalaga ito upang lalo natin silang maakay sa Pangulo. So, salamat po and God bless sa atin. Video ang pasunod nito.
Did you ever want to know how the Catholic Church declares someone a saint? You probably know that periodically the Catholic Church recognizes new holy men and women as its official saints. But what exactly are the steps to canonization, that is, being named a saint by the Catholic Church? The process has actually changed throughout history. In the first centuries, it was by acclamation of the community that sainthood was pronounced, sort of a spiritual popularity contest. But because the stories of some of the early saints' lives were later found to be exaggerated or even purely legend, this method eventually gave way to a more structured process. So, in the Middle Ages, a new path to sainthood was prescribed, a set of rules we pretty much still use today. Here's what happens. First of all, and probably most obvious, a person has to have died in order to be considered an official saint in the Church, because we believe the saints are in heaven with God. So at some point after their death, some fan of the potential saint, like someone who knew them or a member of their religious community, asks their local bishop to begin the cause for canonization. Once the bishop agrees, the potential saint receives the title Servant of God. and a formal review is undertaken at the local level, guided by historians and theologians. Then the bishop may decide to send the cause to Rome. The Congregation for the Causes of Saints, an entire department at the Vatican devoted to this sainthood process, then determines if the person in question demonstrated heroic sanctity in their lifetime worthy of imitation. That is, did they live a life marked by virtuous actions, doing good works out of love of God and neighbor? If so, with the Pope's decree, they are declared venerable. Next, the search begins for proof that a miracle occurred through the person's intercession since they have died. Note that this is not a miracle that happened while they were alive, like cases where saints have reportedly levitated or experienced the wounds of Christ. In the eyes of the Church, a miracle attributed to someone after their death is evidence that the person is indeed in heaven with God, interceding for us here on earth. Catholic belief is that it is actually God that performs the miracle. The potential saint is essentially being credited with an assist, like in hockey or basketball. The process of confirming that a miracle truly happened is exhaustive. Miracles for sainthood are not limited to medical cures, but in practice they almost always are. And a miraculous cure must meet 3 stringent criteria. It must be instantaneous, lasting, and unexplainable. Instantaneous, meaning that a person goes from very sick or terminally ill to healthy in a very short period of time, usually days. Lasting, meaning it was not a fluke or a brief remission, the cure needs to last for at least a year or more. And unexplainable, meaning that the person's return to health may not be even possibly attributed to any other course of treatment. To verify these criteria, doctors and scientific experts scrutinize medical records and weigh in on the credibility of these claims. Even non-religious skeptics are invited to try to disprove the miracle. On top of all that, there must be evidence that people prayed for the intercession of the would-be saint before the miraculous cure happened, and that they did not enlist the help of any other saint. It's okay to pray to God or Jesus directly, of course, but you can hedge your bets by also including ringers like St. Jude or even the Virgin Mary. So once there is proof that a miracle resulted from the aspiring saint's intercession, the person may now be officially called blessed. The ceremony during which this happens is called beatification and is most often held in the local diocese that has promoted this person's sainthood cause. At this point, a feast day is chosen to be celebrated in certain places having to do with this blessed person, and churches and schools may be named after them. And now the search begins for a second miracle that can be shown to have happened after the beatification, using the same stringent process just described. Once miracle number 2 is verified and approved by Rome, the person may then be officially canonized, which means that the Pope declares them a saint. This ceremony almost always happens at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome and is presided over by the Pope himself. Once canonized, a saint is recognized by the Universal Church, and their feast day may be celebrated all around the world. Now that's the official process. Of course, there are always exceptions. For instance, a martyr, someone who has died voluntarily as a witness to the faith, requires only 1 miracle for canonization, not 2. The Pope can also decide to dispense with the second miracle even for a non-martyr, as Pope Francis did with Pope John XXIII. And then there's equivalent canonization, in which someone who is unofficially considered a saint in certain cultures or countries can be officially declared one through papal decree rather than through the full canonization process. It's important to note that the Catholic Church does not believe that through any of these processes a holy person becomes a saint. We are merely recognizing their sainthood. It's our earthly way of officially affirming that they are indeed in heaven with God, hearing and assisting with our prayers. And now you know how the Catholic Church officially goes about declaring someone a saint.